The flying right elbow in your golf swing is caused by these three things I'm about to show you in this video. And you've been suffering with this maybe for quite some time now, because you may have been able to get one or two of these things right, but not all three. And it requires all three of these to be correct in your golf swing. So make sure you stay around to the very end of the video, as I'll dive into all these three steps that you need to ensure that you are doing everything you can to stop this flying right elbow taking place in your golf swing. So for those of you who are new, I'm Harry and I help golfers transform their games one shot at a time. So make sure you drop a comment down below with tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover in a future video. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy watching this and you take the tips and drills on board into your own game. So kicking things off with number one, the first reason. What is the first thing that we tend to see a lot of golfers make, the mistake that they make that's stopping them from curing this flying right elbow position in your golf swing? Well, what they'll do is they'll set up to the golf ball in what we call a very much so internally rotated position with this right forearm. So in simple terms, at the address position, they'll set up with the right elbow facing away from them. Okay, and what happens is when the right elbow faces away from them, I'm just going to exaggerate this here as you can see, just having a look from there now, okay? So I'm really exaggerating this, making sure that's pointing towards the camera angle here. And when I make my takeaway swing up until this point here, I can do this all in one motion, no problem, without having to make any really sort of strange adjustments in the swing. But from this position here now, I'll have to go this way in the golf swing, okay, and drag this right elbow behind us. The reason is, if we set the arm like this here, okay, I can't physically keep turning in this motion here. Otherwise, I'd get to the top of the swing like this. So what's going to happen? Well, from here, we're going to drag the right elbow behind us, and if we get this rotation, then this is going to be present, that flying right elbow position. So to change this at the address position, we just simply want to take the left hand onto the club, so the lead hand onto the golf club as normal. You're going to take your right hand and have the palm facing towards the ground like this here. All you're going to do is just get this right palm pointing towards the sky. And when you do this yourself, you'll feel how much rotation, forearm rotation, takes place when you're doing this action with your right arm here. So the trail arm in the golf swing. So when we do this here, the elbow points towards the body. So in order for me to grip this now, all I want to make sure I'm doing is this elbow, making sure this elbow is continuing to point towards the body. I'm just going to twist my hand over so the palm faces the grip. I'm going to grip it like so. So when I set up now like this here, you can see the difference with this trail arm position at the address as opposed to this action here. This action promotes that motion. Well, if I set the arm this way, okay, well, that's going to promote this action. You can see that my right arm now is able to fold in the correct way. So when we set the club at the top of the swing, setting this right arm in this externally rotated position, I can fold this up to the top of my swing, and you can see there how much more in control I am of this flying right elbow at the top of the swing. It isn't present anymore, just from changing that address position. So that is number one, kicking things off now, looking at number two, which is the takeaway. So a lot of golfers I've noticed, especially ones that have come and see me in person, they'll have a tendency of getting their wrists involved to start this golf swing a lot, too much to start this golf swing. And you can see there when we do this action and just encourage a little bit of body rotation doing this, you can see how much it opens the club face, but more importantly for this right arm flared out position, it causes the club to move very much so under plane. And when the club moves more under plane, the likelihood is if we continue to rotate, the club's going to get very much so over the top. And look what that causes the right arm to do, the right elbow. It's causing it now to flare out. This flying right elbow position takes place from this as well. So what I'm going to get you to do instead is we want to try and control the wrist in the golf swing, the hands in the golf swing, to set the club more, almost more in this position here, but the club itself is staying on the outside in relation to where the hands are. This is the feeling that I want to give you. And to do this, you're going to take something here as simple as an alignment stick, okay? And you're going to take it on the lead side of your grip like so, setting up as normal in this position here, and it's going to touch the lead side of your body. When you make a couple of practice swings doing this now, we only want to get the club to this position here. It's not taking the club back too far. It's literally just to what we would call position 1 in the golf swing. So not taking it up to parallel to ground, just taking it up to position 1. And you can see here, when I've just done a couple of those practice swings there, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, everything looks nice and on plane. Everything looks very much so in control. But if I was this motion here, and this is what a lot of golfers would do when they first get this alignment stick on this lead side of the body, is that they'll continue to use the wrist and the club, well, the alignment stick comes away from the body. So the idea of this first move, this takeaway move, is going to help you obviously control that club face, but get that swing more on plane. Less wrist movement, less likely to get that position at the top of the swing, getting this control back in your golf game. So once you've done 15, 20 reps, take the alignment stick away. Obviously we've got this trail arm set in that externally rotated position, feeling that takeaway move, setting the club more on the outside. It's going to feel like it's on the outside for you if you're so used to taking the club back this way, but it's not. A good way, a good little indication whilst you're working on this, as well as taking this alignment stick again and placing it behind the golf ball so it's pointing directly towards your target. What's going to happen now is when you make a couple of swings, your goal is just to keep that club head going over that alignment stick as you're taking the club head back. So from this position here now, when the club from your eye line reaches the end of the stick on the floor, okay, what's going to happen is we don't want to then obviously drag this elbow this way like we noticed earlier, but because we've got this trail arm now set in this position that we want, we've got the takeaway. Well, all we need to think is that club head now is going to go directly over the right shoulder, pointing towards the wall behind us. And look at where it sets my right arm here at the top of the swing. It sets it more vertically as opposed to getting this flying right elbow taking place. Just wanted to let you know as well, you can get 5% off using the code SURE5 off Golf Swing Systems. So any of the products, any of the training aids, and the TrackMan's launch monitors that I use in these videos, you can get a whopping 5% off. So a TrackMan, you can save yourself up to $1,000. So I'd highly recommend checking out their website by clicking in the description below. And just a quick shout out to GX Golf, the brand new sponsorship to the channel. I've been working with GX Golf now for the last couple of months because they produce high quality golf clubs at a fraction of the price. And you can use this discount code as well below, Harry10, to get yourself a whopping 10% off these golf clubs. They're coming great bundle packages of 3, 6 and 9 golf gloves that you can get on their website. I'll leave the links for that in the description below, so make sure you check them out later on as well. So moving on to the third thing, which is the hardest change to make, but it's going to be nice and simple for you. What I want you to do, just to kick things off, just before we get into this, we're just going to do a little test and get this right arm flexing this 90-degree angle here. What's going to happen now is you're just going to make sure your elbow is nice and straight with your body, and your hand now, you're just going to take it back as far as you possibly can. So for me, being a young, flexible adult, fairly flexible, I'd like to consider myself, that is set now in a 90-degree angle position, if not 85 degrees. For someone like yourself who may be a little bit older, a little bit less flexible, struggling to get this mobility in your golf game, losing this mobility, then we might even just set it to this position here, from this vertically stuck position. So that is how far you're going to be able to take this to the golf swing with this flying right elbow. So if you set this now into the actual golf swing position, there you go. So this is what you've got to remember. For this third and final step, you've got to remember your limitations. We're all human, we have different flexibility and mobility levels, and it's really important that you understand this before I reveal this. So all I want you to do, just to help maximize the chances of getting rid of this right flying arm position in your golf swing, well, we've got the right arm set in that position at the beginning, we've got this takeaway working all in one motion, but how can we ensure we're maximizing the chances of getting this arm way more in this vertically set position at the top of the swing, even with this limited mobility that we may have? So you're going to take the club away. and you're going to have your right arm set as if you would hit the golf ball. Left hand can go anywhere. I'm just putting it just underneath the mic there so I don't touch it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that when I make my way up to the top of the swing, I'm going to be a waiter and I'm going to just carry a load of plates, okay? So I'm a waiter and I'm just going to carry a load of plates. So you can see here, we're set in this position just like a waiter would walking around serving food on a plate, then that is what you want to be doing. We're thinking of this waiter, okay? Up to the top of the swing, a waitress, for those of you ladies watching this as well, we're just getting this right palm pointing towards the sky. And when we do this here, okay, look at where my right arm is set. My right elbow is set way more towards me as opposed to flying away from me. So those are 3 things that you should be doing to ensure that you're getting rid of this flying right elbow in your golf swing. So if you've come this far, I'd highly recommend hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content coming to you every Tuesday and Friday. Make sure you take full advantage of all the discount codes in the description below, the golf clubs, the launch monitors, and the training aids that we use in these videos. And all we're thinking about in this one here is setting that arm in this externally rotated position, getting that takeaway move, and we're thinking of the waiter or waitress holding the plates at the top of our swing. Go ahead, give these a try, and let me know how you get on from this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.